started. It's a little after 6 p.m. And so we want to keep our commitment to honor your busy schedules and get rolling. Welcome to the Clayton Fire Long-Term Recovery Task Force meeting. I am Carol Hutchinson. I am the co-recovery coordinator, and I'm also the county administrative officer. And here representing our task force is Ray Ruminski, our environmental health director, and of course Rob Brown, district supervisor and co-coordinator of the recovery. We have a special presentation tonight and some updates on debris removal, and we'll also open it up for questions and answers. And we are live streaming tonight at lakecountyrecovers.com and also at the Lake County OES Facebook page. Have I got that right, Tony?
Just the Facebook page.
Just the Facebook, Lake County OES Facebook page. And how many live streamers do we have? Are you able to see?
It has not returned any results just yet.
Okay, then we'll wait just a minute for our special presentation, and we'll jump right into Ray and Rob's report on debris removal operations.
Go ahead. Okay, first off a little bit, I've got Cubs and Indians tied 1-1 in the fourth. So, okay. Cal Recycle is here with a program to clean up all the lots with fire and ash debris. They do a good job. They take it right down to the dirt. They scrape some of the dirt. They test for heavy metals. You're probably all familiar. You've seen it going on. And they'll only do it if a property owner gives us a permission in writing to enter your property and agree to the procedures of the operations. There's still time to register that. We started late. We reset the deadline. If anyone wants to still participate in that, I have some of the ROE paperwork here. I have some other information, question and answer stuff here. Get it to us by tomorrow or the next day, by November 4th, and we'll get you in the program. So far, there are 135 properties registered, and there was 133 completed in our environmental assessment evaluation step. There was 36 lots with the debris removal completed, and they're going at an impressive pace once they get the heavy equipment teams on the lot. And there's 18 of them, of those 36, have had the confirmation soil samples collected, and we're waiting for the lab to return those soil sample results. Parallel to the Cal Recycle program is another option for homeowners, and that is you hire your own private contractor. They'll do the work with similar procedures, a similar operation, and those numbers are 41 are registered and 16 are completed. If an owner walks away and exercises neither one of those two options, then the county will assemble an abatement operation, and that will be a notice of nuisance in order to abate. There's a due process, there's a time limit. Then the county will obtain a warrant and enter your property without your permission, do the job, and back charge you with the property lien recorded. So that's the unfortunate thing. There may be a few of those. I'd like that number to be 0, and we'll only do it if we have to.
So Rick, did you say that you got the soil samples back for the Clayton? So then maybe you're using the Rocky as a value for people to move forward because the samples for the Clayton got back.
Okay, as far as cleanup goals, for the private contractors who were ahead of our schedule on the completion work, we've been using the Rocky Fire cleanup goals, and I know it's kind of similar, but it's a distinct, different geography and topography and layout. There have been soil samples collected around the Clayton region, around the Clayton area. Those are in the lab. The samples have probably been returned to the lab. They're doing the statistical analysis on it now, the cleanup goals will be developed, and then as soon as the soil samples are returned from these Clayton ones that the Cal Recycle team is doing, they'll be evaluated against the new Clayton specific cleanup goals. But yeah, for the private contractors only who wanted to go quick, we've been using the Rocky, and it's not a perfect fit, but it's something we thought we could use.
And then you'll adjust when the Claytons come back, you'll adjust those ones that are doing the cleanup after the samples have been returned, correct?
Well, we'll compare the Rocky cleanup goals with the Clayton cleanup goals and see if there's a wild swing in some of the numbers. Any other questions?
So there's 34 that you all have ROEs on. Is that what the number is?
For possible nuisance abatement lots, it's probably less than 34. We're getting better data. We're comparing the CAL FIRE DINS list, damage inspection list, with the sign-ups, both Cal Recycle and private. There's some duplicates in there. There's some stuff on the damage inspection report that is probably does not warrant a cleanup because they included in their reports stuff like a damaged woodshed or a pump house or something, and those are not
So it's
a
less
true
than
hazard.
more than that then?
Yeah, no, it's probably around 20 now.
Okay.
And we're trying to thin it down even less. Okay, thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
So do you let us know when you're coming on the property so that
Yeah, staff-
we can be there?
Yeah, Kendra down in the D-Rock office will call, and the goal is 24 to 48 hours
Okay.
before the heavy equipment team shows up on your lot.
Okay.
Now before that, they'll have some people walking out there. Well, most of that's been done actually, but there'll be some people walking out there to evaluate the job, check for asbestos, do some measuring, but the actual heavy equipment team with the work crews and the excavators and the dump trucks, you'll get a call 24 to 48 hours before we schedule that.
Okay.
I have a question. The properties that have already been cleaned up, like mine has been cleaned up, the cement's gone, everything's gone. How long do we have to wait to get from the county telling us when we can go back home, the soil's okay?
I think that'll be in.
If the test hasn't come back yet.
Yeah, we'll get lab samples for the first batch, the first 18, probably late this week or early next week, but we still need to get those cleanup goals that Chief Cepeda was referring to.
Yeah, we live out on Quarter Horse, and they've done my property, my next door neighbor's on one side, and just wondering, how long we have to wait, saying that.
Quarter Horse near the bridge there?
Yeah.
Crossing the bridge.
Yeah, that was the first batch on the first half week we were out there, so that'll be the first batch of samples returned.
Okay.
Actually, to go back to your question, I'm thinking less than 2 weeks.
There's, did you get your septic tested already? Or?
Not yet.
Okay,
We didn't know how to go
You do
about
that now,
doing
right?
that.
Yeah, there's
That's why I
Apply for that.
to move on a temporary with a motorhome or travel trailer, an RV, or to actually build a new house, or to actually set up a new manufactured home, you'll have to have your septic system checked, and we have a thing called minor repair permit, charge $120. That'll have to be done to, set your new house on, or build your new house.
And they can do that now. They don't have to wait for the soil test to get that done, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
People are doing that. Several have already been completed on that septic inspection. It can be done anytime.
Okay, so we had to go, in other words, we call whoever we go for septics, like Action Sanitation, for example.
No,
Environmental health.
County Health Department.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so I need to find out, thank you.
Well, then I have a question, Jim, and this kind of goes back to a couple of weeks ago. For those of us who don't have the funds just yet, I'm still trying to get funds, something to live on. Is there gonna be fee waivers for if they decide to check the septic for the third time or second time, whatever? You know, to make sure that it's functioning so we can put an RV or something there. Yeah, because I'm still having trouble getting funds.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
relying on family members. So, but my property has not been cleaned yet, but I was understanding I'm on the next wave.
Okay.
Which is a good
Harriet, there's no established fee waiver for it right now, but like I've mentioned this to you before, there are other options out there if you want to give me a call. Anybody that, you know, if you can't afford it, there are options out there available through some other private funds that we could probably use.
Well,
So
right now, it seems to be a long, temporary product problem for me.
Yeah.
You know, and for a lot of people, there are no funds now, no income, no nothing, and thank God I've got some family members who have kicked in. She's even helping me today. So, we're,
That's okay.
yeah, we're
but as far as the septic permit thing goes, I mean, you just give me a call.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help with that.
Thank you.
You mentioned a second and a third inspection. This step only needs to be done once.
It's only one fee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, it's not a fee each time.
So just so everybody's clear, there is one more step after the soil samples get approved. We do erosion control. Now, you can waive erosion control and get you right into the building if you're going to put an RV, but we're required by law to come in and hydroseed and protect the lot from disturbed soil.
Okay.
So that's a day process, we just have to schedule it in. So
Tony, are you picking that up?
No, I'm having trouble getting the audio from
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. Todd, could you come up just because that's important?
Yeah, I put the little electric, yes, please.
Yeah, that's important. to
You've already
share.
done my property and I'll talk to you before.
right, so there is one more step past the soil.
Todd, would you introduce yourself since people
Thank
are
you.
questions? Would you mind?
No, no problem. Todd Thalheimer, Operations to Cal Recycle.
Thank you.
The one running the debris. Back in Lake County again. Happy to be as a former native. With that said, so the environmental sampling will come in. We actually are starting to get results in from the background. We do a statistical analysis, then we place your data on top of the background data, and we make sure it's within 2 times the background data. Once that is proved, our next step is to come in and do erosion control. You may waive the erosion control if you'd like, or you can come talk to us and say, I'm going to put an RV here, don't put erosion control down. We suggest you don't waive it because we will come in and put the
Exactly.
pack and the mulch and the fiber down so that it's protected. But there's that one last step. So we're anticipating the data coming in late this week, early next week, when we have the final background data, which is going to be different than Rocky, because what we're seeing in towns is the same as what we saw in Middletown. There's human impacts of long history of living in Lower Lake. So you're going to have different numbers than you would have out in Rocky. So we want to make sure we use the appropriate numbers locally versus the Rocky area.
Okay, also I wanted to ask you, since you guys tore up the cement and there's big rivers, you know, from the soil, are we responsible to put the soil back and the cement?
Yes,
Or-
you're responsible for putting the soil back in the cement. And now, there are some ruts on some of the sites. I know I've heard some issues about why some sites look really graded out and why some sites have ruts in them still. Just know that those were worked on during the rain, and you can't put a final grade on it in the rain. The equipment
Right,
just
well,
won't.
they still have equipment out on my property.
So what'll happen is that once the soil sample comes back approved, they'll do a final grade. They won't bring any soil in because again,
Right.
engineering wise, we can't bring soil in because you have to compact it to a standard. It has to go through a building approval. So what we don't want to do is bring soil in and not compact it to where you want your new building.
Okay,
That make sense?
yes, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, one other thought, the reason a property owner would waive that erosion control step is if they were going to immediately build a foundation, pour a slab, start a new house. The erosion control is so the grass is established, you know, the hydro seed sprouts, provides some root system so the soil won't wash off. But if someone's ready to go with a new home, that's a situation where they waive the erosion control step. Other questions? Okay, good.
When are you going to do the hydro seeding?
That would be after the soil sample comes back and meets the cleanup goals.
In case they have to excavate more. Because they've already over excavated, they may have to do more, but it's usually not.
It's
pretty-
the last
once in a while.
Yeah, it's the last step of the steps. Were you thinking the time?
Yes.
Well, it kind of varies, but the goal now is to have everything done by December 16,
Okay.
which means everything.
But you're saying that we shouldn't have the hole filled up that was made with when they did the clearing before the hydro seeding?
If you plan to bring in imported soil and compact it, that would be another reason why you'd waive the erosion control.
Okay, they've already done the erosion control on my place, which means putting the barriers around. Is that what you mean by erosion control?
No, hydro seeding.
They were also they'll also spray some hydro seed, so this grass will be out there with some tack compound and some fertilizer and some grass seed, and then that will sprout the grass and establish a root system.
Okay, the problem is they dug out a hole there,
Yeah.
and we need that filled in before they hydro seed it. What's the point of hydro seeding if we're going to fill it on top of that?
Are you going to be building in the same spot?
Yes.
You
Or
didn't-
at least
well, then you
try to
won't
put
have,
it on
then you won't need to worry about hydro seeding that area anyway.
Are you going to be building right away?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
We don't want
everything.
that.
Yeah. Is the testing back? Have you already?
No, we haven't done.
Okay, once the testing's back, they could bring the dirt in.
Okay.
And you don't even, Ray suggested compaction, but there's no requirement for compaction. You'll need it if you're going to dig footings or anything like that, but that's up to you. So.
Yes.
What if you're not bringing soil in but using other soil on the lot? Can you do that at any time?
That's probably going to be an individual assessment from the planning department. It depends on if you're on the creek. I mean,
No, we're perfectly flat.
No,
Except for.
maybe is the answer. If I know you guys have attended almost all of our meetings, so you probably heard Bob Massarelli say, come see him, and he can look at that lot and be able to tell you. But just to say yes, that it wouldn't be appropriate not knowing what your situation is there, because there are grading restrictions in the county anyway, and you can only move so much dirt, and there's some things, but possibly you could, but yeah. There's a good chance that you probably could, but just to say yes or no is probably not possible tonight. We could talk about it. Bob could have one of his guys decide that.
Is the erosion control and the other, is that only available to? Do we need to ask people to come up?
Yeah,
so you
if
can-
possible, if you have a question, if you could come up, because I can't pick up the audience, and there's a lot of people watching it live. So if you wouldn't mind coming up to the podium, that way they can hear you as well. Because obviously one person's question is probably shared by many.
Yeah.
Please.
Could you?
Thank you.
Thank
Anybody
you
else
very
Somebody else
much.
behind her?
Yeah, anybody else that has a
Hand
question?
up,
wanna-
so you can go ahead and get right behind her to go next.
Thank
Somebody else
you.
had their hand up?
If you've used a private contractor, is the erosion control only available to CalWorks, or is it available to everybody out there regardless or irregardless of who they use to clean the property?
The erosion control that we're talking about here is the final step in the Cal Recycle program.
So that's for CalRecycle
Yes,
only?
yes. And if you hire a private contractor, you
So say you
you
don't know.
would have that in your contract, and there's an expectation of a complete job to include erosion control.
But hydro seeding may not be
Yeah.
required.
Or hydro seeding?
Yeah, they could-
Because that's the first I've heard of the hydro seeding in the area.
Well, that's an efficient, high volume, high production method. You could also, or a private contractor or an individual could spread out hay bales, and that'd be a mulch and the seed from the hay. They could scatter seed themselves by hand and put a mulch and a fertilizer on it and get the same goal. We use the hydro seeding because it's efficient.
Okay, so it's only for CalRecycle contracts?
Right.
Yes, as we're talking now, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We have a special presentation this evening from Cynthia at Redwood Credit Union, and I'd like to just invite you on up, Cynthia. Redwood Credit. Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We're privileged to be here. We want to do a special presentation for you. As you know, we have set Redwood Credit Union up to be a place where folks can give monies to people who are victims of the fire. We have about 700 people that donated over $260,000 to the community for the recovery of the community in a variety of different ways. So I'm here today to give to Supervisor Brown and Carol, to both of you, the $260,000 here in the check. So what we've done so far is we'll distribute the $260,000. Let me give it back to you.
So we're holding it, but it's for you.
Yeah,
We're just holding it temporarily.
And then we'll do a distribution, obviously, of all of these funds. Immediately after the fire, we worked with Supervisor Brown to distribute some of the monies to the kids and the folks at Walmart. We gave to faculty members, to students at the school. And then the effort that we're working on right now is distribute to individual homes. So working with the list from the local area assistance center for folks who went there to self-report their homes being damaged, plus the list that we got from Supervisor Brown of all the damaged properties. So far, we've been able to establish 124 homes and distribute monies to over 259 people at those 124 homes that we could match up from the fire damage list with the folks that reported at LAC. And we were giving $1,000 to each of the homes that we're able to identify. Right now, we have about 74 homes that we don't have a name for. So we are also, again, working with the town here to see if we can identify the owners of the residents of those 74 remaining homes, so we can reach out and speak with you so we can get the rest of those monies distributed. At that point, any remaining funds will work with Senator McGuire's office and the Press Democrat, who are also our partners in making this all happen, to distribute everything, all 261,000 going to a community from 700 very generous people that donated through the RCU community fund.
So if you're out there, so when did you send the checks out?
The first checks went out Tuesday.
Okay, so within this week, those that lost homes should be receiving money from Redwood Credit Union. If you haven't received it, next week or the week after, you can call me directly at 349-2628, and then we'll put you in touch with the folks at Redwood Credit Union to identify where your property was, and cross-check it if someone else had been given the money or whatever. But probably most likely we just weren't able to get a hold of you. We're working with the assessor's office, or the tax collector's office, to try to identify the addresses of those who own that property. And so hopefully we'll resolve that. But we're going to keep trying to hunt down the folks that may have moved out of the county temporarily and just haven't been able to get hold of them. So, but if you're out there, and we're also going to do this through the local media, online and print, to try to get the word out to folks. If you know neighbors that didn't get their money, that means that they weren't on the list. The property's on the list, but they weren't. We're not able to get home. So have them contact me, and we'll.
But the first round of checks just went out yesterday.
Yeah, the first round of checks just went.
So within a week.
Too soon to know.
Last Tuesday, so we know that people are receiving them.
Oh, not yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sorry, last Tuesday. And folks,
in just a minute, we'll just finish it.
So we know that people are receiving them. We've gotten some back. I will tell you that what we did is we used the burned property address, and the reason for that is even if there was a temporary address recorded, we weren't sure how temporary it was, and so That way, if the mail wasn't forwarded, it would come back to us. So we may also check the post office, and when it does come back to us and there's a forwarding address, then we'll resend it back out. So there may be some time in between the post.
What is your question? And I can just repeat the question.
The checks went out, my youngest daughter got one for our property, and my 4 other checks came for our property, and I sent them back, because I don't know who the people are and they don't live there, because I've been on the phone with Lori all day, for a couple different times.
Meg. I talked to you too. Thank you. Yes, thank you for doing that. And so we're doing the best we can with what was reported on the LAC list and the destroyed properties. So we really appreciate that, and thanks for doing that, Gwen and Eddie.
There's going to be some confusion.
Yeah.
There always is in this. I mean, I get asked all the time, where did people go? I don't know. I mean, people are scattered to the wind after a fire like this. They really are. We can't keep track of all of them. So we do the best we can to try to reach out. This form, everywhere we can. So that's how we'll try to get through it. And we still may miss a few, but it's definitely not going to try.
Like I have 2 houses on my property. I have the big house, and then what's like a mother-in-law cottage, but my daughter and her son live there.
Okay.
And so, when I talked to Lori today, she said, well, as soon as they get it all worked out, and she wanted everybody to live in the house. I said, I have a sister, she's on the deed, but she doesn't live here. My mother did that before she passed away.
You can also call us direct if you have, folks that you
I
have questions or other people.
Number on the paper, which is recording, I couldn't get through, but then.
Okay.
All right.
You have a report you wish to report at this point?
Yeah. So as Ray indicated, the cleanup's going real well. I think we've lived through the Valley Fire and Rocky and Jerusalem, and so relative to that and what we've seen with the learning curve that we had up there, I think things are going really well. And the folks that have lost everything have been very understanding with the process that we have to go through, and there are a lot of scenarios that we always get when we come to these meetings that may just be relative to your own personal property. So we're happy to answer any of those questions as it relates to just your property, and you can contact me directly 349-2628 anytime, and we'll try to seek the answers out from somebody that might have them. Also with the Redwood Credit Union and Senator McGuire, there's a Christmas party planned for December 4th, and there'll be more information on that as we come forward too for the survivors of the Clayton fire. Russ Kramer?
When you finish, I'd like to get up and kind of
Can you pick it up?
on Meg and Stephanie.
Are you picking it up?
Okay, he wants to come up. He wants to come up and say something here in a minute. So right? You don't have a question right now?
Not a question. I just want to make.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I have to say. There are a lot of things going on, and it's very fluid. It's moving all the time. There's every day something new comes up. So whatever comes up, if there's any questions at all. I was down at the D-Rock working today. They're doing a great job. As Ray said, they're making phone calls, they're reaching out to people the best they can. If you don't hear from them, come by or stop and just check in once in a while, because sometimes it's really tough to get a hold of people. So, and they're trying, they're doing everything they can, but they're going to miss a few, and so kind of relying on people. People say, how come nobody told me that there was a meeting tonight? Well, we can't contact every single person, and so sometimes you have to just reach out and ask, check in with us or at the D-Rock or call me or one of us that way. So anything at all, any time at all, we'll see what we can do to take care of the situation. So there's a lot of unique things going on, so try to take care of it. Any questions? Yes.
I have a question about trees.
Yeah.
We spoke with Bob Healy of Cal Recycle, and he thought there might be some help with tree removal of the truly dead trees.
Todd, do you know anything about that?
Cal Recycle and Cal OES are identifying hazard trees that are on the property, but if your lot has already been cleaned up, then I don't believe there's any help for that. We just take out a few selective trees that would be hazardous to crews.
Okay.
That's another situation, if you want to give me a call, maybe there's something out there that's available. The tree issue with Clayton is almost non-existent compared to what we dealt with Valley Fire. So, there may be some alternatives that we can go out there that won't break the bank if it won't be through the county, but it may be through some private money out there. So, yeah, just give me a call. Yeah, back in the back.
I got a question about just what's happening with help. My name is Steve Merrill, 17223 West End Court. I know there's been help coming in. We were renters of our property, and we lost everything. At first, we got the help, with Red Cross, the Chinese, people that came in, the Korean people gave out gift cards. But what I'm trying to find out is, like everything was like this, and now it's like a lull. We're at Canocti. We're stuck there. We got help from Railroad Credit Union, which was nice. But I'm wondering if there's going to be something more. I mean, we maybe in total, $2,000, $2,500.
Yeah. I wish I had some good news to tell you.
Yeah.
The chances are that there won't be. We're working we have folks here from LARCA, that have been doing a lot to help people, and Lake County Rising. So there are going to be some things out there, but as far as ongoing assistance that we may have seen with FEMA, the Valley Fire, it's not going to happen. And we've already resigned to the fact that we just have to move on, probably take care of our own in many cases. But there are some alternatives out there, but it's not. Some of the things that might come up that might help you at some point, or somebody that's in that situation. It's going to be a while, but we're applying for grants. It could be first-time home buyer for people that were renters and now maybe have a chance through Hope City, some of these other organizations, to actually have a home built.
We apply to Habitat for Humanity.
It
takes time.
It does take time, and we've all Habitat for Humanity and Hammers for Hope have applied for grants that could help people in rebuild through the state, and the grant application deadline on that is November 28th, so we should know pretty soon, and then money could start to be loaned out to people that want to rehab or rebuild a house from the ground up. And then one of the applicants actually applied for the first-time home buyers, and if that's awarded, then that could be an alternative too for people who are renters.
Okay. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask a question along the same lines. The voucher system that was designed, for the social services, it's not working for people like me who are, not pregnant, we're not with children, and that's been part of the gap for me in trying to find some kind of funds, which I'm now getting help from my family. That's my family right there, Vicki too. So is there any, I know we're beating a dead horse here.
Yeah, we've had this conversation many times, so the answer hasn't changed, unfortunately.
Well, I'm hearing some information about how Governor Brown have passed some funds to help for rural areas like this. Is that possible that may end up trickling down into our area here, or is
I have no knowledge of that.
Okay.
But that's what that's for.
Okay, so I'm still working.
But it's like,
at least we're helping each other.
We are, and the thing is, the $1,000 coming from, that's got to be a help to you. That's.
Well, that actually helped secure a deal with somebody who's in a similar situation and can't stay here in this county.
Well, however it was used, it's got to be some help somebody.
So that's now got me a form of some basic housing to be put back onto my property there, just like an RV. So.
Okay.
Thank you. So
I'm
very grateful to get those
social services programs for just a moment. It's certainly true that the social services programs that are funded with state and federal dollars are very limited for adults. They're mostly tied to folks with children, or mothers that are pending childbirth. But the county does have the general assistance program, and if you haven't applied for that, I would encourage you to go ask social services about that. It is limited. It offers vouchers. It doesn't pay cash.
Yeah, that's the catch-22 for me, where I'm staying at. They said no vouchers. So.
Yeah, you have to have an
but we-
expense to
yeah,
get a voucher
but I
for
am
the
getting
expense.
some of the temporary medical help.
And you should be able to apply for food stamps as well?
Yeah, that's helping me too, but, it's just that gap, we're hoping that it can be filled in sometime to help for a lot of us Clayton fire survivors. We're finding ourselves in that gap. So, again, but I'm grateful for the funds that I did receive in the mail.
You got your-
Would you hurry up?
She didn't know about it until I told her. She
Yeah.
said, "What are you
Go
talking
check the
about?"
mailbox, huh?
And we went and checked the mail together, and she got hers, my younger daughter got hers, and I got 3 others, my address that I didn't know who they were, so I sent them back.
Okay.
And so Russ?
Yeah, Russ?
Okay.
Oh, did you have something else?
No, I think I do, but that's pretty much answered a lot of my questions there.
Wish we had been around.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Russ Kramer. I'm representing the Lake Area Rotary Club Association Marca Fire Relief Fund. I was at a couple of meetings ago, I was here. We have some money. Actually, we started out with the Valley Fire last year and have a fairly significant amount of money left. We just received a donation from Redwood Credit Union, thanks Meg and Stephanie, for $20,000 will go towards small business grants that we have been doing. And that's not only for storefront type businesses, it's for home businesses as well. We've given several already in the Clayton Fire area. But what we haven't gotten, we don't, unlike what Redwood Credit does, they got the LAC list and sent a $1,000 check to each recipient, which was great. We react to requests. We have a website, it's LARCA, L-A-R-C-A 5130.org. And you can reach us on that. That'll come directly to me actually. Or I can take your name and give you my contact information. It's R. Kramer at MCHSI. But we need to hear from you. And quite honestly, we've got a meeting tomorrow night, and we really don't have a good feel for what your needs are. And I think it was this way last year with the Valley too. It took a couple months before the shock of it wore off, and you're really seeing, Jesus, God, I don't have this, I need it. So we'd love to hear from you. And we do have some funding, and I think we can help you. But you gotta ask. One other thing we have, by the way, we had a little tree project that was just completed for the Valley Fire victims and survivors, excuse me. And we have about, 20 some primarily live oak trees that are 10 to 12 feet high. And if, those of you that, lost trees or need something to restart your landscaping, we can provide some of those too. We want to give them out. I don't want to go on watering them well, actually Monica doesn't want to go on watering them for too much longer. So at any rate, we just need to hear from you, and be glad to try to help you.
Thank you.
Russ, just how much have you guys raised and given out so far?
We have something over 100 that we've raised strictly for Clayton, plus the 20 from them. I can't say exactly how much, but it's over 100,000.
Pretty substantial, yeah.
So, like I said, that's all you gotta do is give us contact us on email, and I'll even give you my cell phone number. It's like Rob, I can give it to everybody. It's 350-1925. Give me a call, email me, email LARCA, and we'll see if we can help you.
Ma'am, if you have a question for, you need to come up if you could so we can pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ.
My question was for Mr. Lorca guy.
Okay, then you may just want to speak with him.
Francis Perez, I live in Copsey Creek as well. What I was wondering is if you could give us you were correct in the point that you made about people are just starting to get their heads together now. I mean, I was myself on pet recon, dad recon, a lot, finding living spaces, all that. Just kind of getting organized, seeing what paperwork people don't have, and then you're going, oh wow, We need to figure out what to do. Can you give me some instances, some examples of the kind of help you were able to provide the people in Middletown, kind of give us an idea of, like, wow, what we're looking for, or what we...
Can I weigh on this a little bit, just for a second?
Okay, is that good?
Larka and what they did on the Valley Fire was a lot different than what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reason for that is I can remember standing down here on Main Street with Russ and others and saying, you know, FEMA's not coming, so you're FEMA this time. And so they started taking care of more individual things that they may not have done at the Valley Fire. And so the comparison between this and the Valley Fire is probably not gonna be clear.
It's a different
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit
approach,
different. So contact him directly offline and you guys can work out some scenarios.
We're absolutely looking for direction, to be honest. We participated in the Walmart gift card giveaway that Stephanie mentioned earlier.
See, like a lot of us didn't know any of that.
Well, that was for kids.
That was directed to
surviving,
that was
really, you know.
school clothes for kids, that's all that was. Yeah, but
Great.
it was
So-
$50,000, so it was
Nice.
pretty substantial, yeah.
So this might be a good segue, since we're clarifying the different role that Larka has now versus the Valley Fire. It might be a good time to bring up the fact that, you know, as we all know, in the Valley Fire, Larka did a lot to support businesses. And in this fire, they're doing more to support individuals and families, whereas SBA is still available to support businesses. But the clock is ticking for SBA Small Business Administration loans.
November 7th.
November 7th.
We do have money available for small business grants. Mostly through the generosity of Redwood Credit.
Okay.
Between them, and we have some already allocated. So we really haven't had an application come in a couple of weeks now. I know there's some folks out there that have home businesses, and I know there's some storefront businesses on Main Street that could use our help.
I think, you know, what we saw, like Carol just mentioned, SBA is still available till November 7th, that's the deadline. But I think one of the comparisons that we can do with the Valley Fire is most people aren't really thinking about their business and, you know, getting, you know, they're thinking about the cleanup. The cleanup is the issue right now. Once the cleanup's done, you're going to see a lot more of that kind of energy going towards, okay, let's get back to rebuilding.
I was looking back.
We haven't even got one single building permit application in yet from Clayton.
I was looking back on the Valley Fire. We wrote our first check on November 2nd.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was that 2 months where everybody was got what happened.
Right, and that's,
But that's true, I think the cleanup is prevalent and it's most important to people because that's my issue right now. And then we can see, like, oh, like I know, you know, we need
Thank you.
I'm kind of concerned about the creek because it's the length of our property and right now it's half full just from the little rain.
Okay.
It's mostly,
we're gonna go ahead and move on to the reports on this stuff right now. So you just contact Russ and you guys work that out. That'd be great.
You have a question for Russ?
I have one question.
Okay, you need to come to the mic unless it's just a question for Russ and you'd like to talk to him.
Okay, well, I can repeat your question. What is it? What's your
The
question?
question is, I know several people, maybe 6 or 7, that applied for the SBA loan.
Yeah.
They either didn't meet their credit or they didn't meet the income.
Yeah.
And yet, what I want to know is your program based on the same qualifications as SBA as far as credit score, as far as income requirement?
SBA is a loan.
Ours is a grant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the question is the comparison between Larka's, the money that Larka's offering and SBA, and it's totally different.
Anybody have
We're a
serious score?
501c3. We're a nonprofit.
What's the score?
41 Cubs.
That's wonderful.
What
Thank
inning?
you very much.
Yeah, good question.
Did you hear that? 4-1 Cubs. What inning?
5-1. 5-1.
5-1. Okay. All right.
In the fifth.
In the fifth. I'd like to introduce a few more agency folks that are here tonight, just so you know who else in the meeting tonight. I want to introduce District Supervisor Jim Comstock. There you are, Jim. Hi. And then we have both of our District Supervisor candidates running for office. Monica and Moke are both here, thank you. Willie, our fire chief's here. Lower Lake Community Action Group, Mike Dean is here. Chris Macedo is representing the sheriff and OES. Thank you all for coming and making yourself available. So I'm looking back at you do we have anything else to add to tonight's report?
Just a question, if there are any questions, but I don't have anything else.
Ray?
Nope.
Back to the podium, please.
I just have a quick one.
Sure.
No, this is a positive thing. I've been trying to come.
None of what you said is negative.
Well, it's just that 10 years ago when we were developing the property on 17129 Deer Park, putting in the garage, we knew there was possible natural gas under there because it reveals the potential for the wells that are underground. And,
Are you getting it?
well,
A lot of background noise.
when I'm
Can we, hey, the mic is pretty sensitive, it's picking up everybody. So,
And nobody's listening.
Rusty.
Well,
I know that's what I'm trying to.
this is just it was an idea that literally hit us because we almost blew up part of the hill digging.
Can you guys take that outside, because it's picking up on the mic and we're not getting hurt?
Well, my brief point is, we know that there's natural gas under different parts of the Copsey Creek Hill area because we almost blew up our hill trying to put in a garage, digging 3 feet deep, and a pocket of the natural gas came out. So saw it even then as a potential to help make, funds or something, money for the county. If we can, because I know Yolo County, they have natural gas wells and things. Can that be explored to see if we can?
That's not anything we're going to deal with here.
No, but I mean in the future.
Any private property owner can look into that, yeah.
Oh, they can? Okay.
Yeah, there's not, it's been, it's been our experience around here that the level of natural gas is low and dirty and it's not usable for that, but
It's just an idea to help.
Where's your location again? The Deer Park?
It's on Deer Park. In the winter time, you'll smell the sewer sulfur smell from the Nockanocti gas because it's coming.
Yeah, she's up the hill from me.
Yeah, you can really smell it.
Gas hill.
So.
Yeah, it's probably more of a hazard than it is an asset.
Yeah, well, it was just an idea if we can just drill for it and make a little bit of funds or something. But anyway, thank you for listening.
So our next meeting with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, our next meeting is November 30th here at this location. We're going to continue these meetings through the debris removal cleanup operation. And then regardless of these meetings, there's a guy standing there. Regardless of these meetings, our team is always available to you. So, yes, sir.
I just wanted to talk about the SBA loans. The process is a real pain in the neck.
It is.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. You may or may not qualify, and you may or may not think you need it. But if you don't apply, you won't get it. If you apply and you don't need it, that's a win for you. It is no points, no fees, low interest. It's extremely important. If you're trying to rebuild, you will find it's going to cost more than you thought and what you had.
So who do we call to find out about that?
I can give you.
We got the number right here.
I'll give you the number of an SBA rep. This is a gentleman that originally came to Lake County and was at one of our meetings in the very beginning. And whether he assists you directly or not, or connects you with somebody in their office to assist you, either way, it's a good phone number. Let's see. 800-659-2955. And his name is, just a second, Bill Koontz with a K. And if you were at our very beginning meetings, he was here. Again, though, that deadline is really coming up quick. It's November 7th.
And all you have to do is start the process. And you'll find out even that if you qualify, which may or may not, you don't have to take the money immediately. It can be deferred for up to a year before it starts. Don't let the opportunity go. It's a royal pain in the neck or somewhere else, but it's worth it. Carol, can you repeat the phone numbers they just got her pin out? It's 800?
Hang on just a second here.
800-659-2955. 659-2955.
Yeah. Don't let it, it may be the biggest pain in the neck you ever had, but it can be worth it. So don't let the opportunity go. The 7th is coming up real quick. It's next Monday.
Yes.
Apply for it.
So thank you all for coming. Wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving and look forward to seeing you the Tuesday after. Take